if you are wondering for my shaders, it is findable on the marketplace, and if you have what's it called, the marketplace pass, you can get it for free. Well, technically free. And if you don't, then I don't know how much it is, but it costs something. I don't think it costs very much compared to other things, but yeah. So, last time we left off with the to-do list and putting the copper away. I have since added a floor. We also made sure. Whoa, hello, Mr. Straff. We also made sure to add a gate and stuff. So when I left, there was a lion stood right here, and I started getting attacked and ran in and then logged off. It seems to have disappeared, so whether it was actually supposed to be here or not, I do not know. However, as we said on the last episode, we do need to get started with making sure we actually get things done in this series. And something I did promise myself in the start was, if I feel like there's going to be something that is going to be practically impossible to make, then it is okay to get it from the creative menu. In other words, I can use my cheats. So, from what I gathered by that, I decided to have a look at the world utilities. I'm joking. It's going to be the... Which one is it? Oh, I think it is the world utilities, actually. Is it the new one, though? Is that the new one? No. We need the... I'm sure I had a book for it. Which one was it? I had one for... Maybe it is this one. Let's have a look. No, it's not that book. Which book is it then? It's not that one. It's not that one. Is it that one? It is! So, the tree captator. So we need two iron ingots, 1 diamond axe, and 2 redstone. So I'm going to get the diamond axe and the redstone. So and redstone. Okay, now I go into here and I get 2 ingots. We can hopefully make the thing that I've been waiting for, which is the thing that I'm also slightly wondering whether I can actually make or not. Let's have a look. So it's the tree captator, and I don't know how to. So the iron. I see. So you do. Oh, I know how to do it now. Okay. So you do that in the middle, 2 redstone there, and the iron there and there. Now I think, if I'm correct, yeah, okay, so that's gonna help us a heck of a lot during the series. There is many different ones of these which I am kind of glad for, can't lie to you. It's gonna be a rather interesting series, especially with these shaders. They are amazing, bless them, but they're a tad a bit annoying. when you're trying to look up and you see a beaming sun in your face. Tad bit annoying in that department, but it's fine. So now that I've made this 5 minutes into the video, it should be pretty well done. And I'm hoping not to hit the draw, because if I hit the draw, I'm gonna get kicked, and I don't want that. So, obviously, this is literally minutes after I've just posted the video that, I posted literally just now, the first video I've ever posted on my channel other than my Meet My IRL Mare, which I posted ages ago. I think it was about a month ago, 2 months ago, something around that. So yeah, I'm not too worried. It looks to be nighttime again, which I'm kind of terrified for. As I've said in the previous video, I do not do well with terrification. So we are going to go in here and we're going to do some things. So I'm not sure how the pet bed works. I've been told before that apparently you can do something where you can, like, whatever pet is assigned to it, something like that, something happens. I don't know. I saw something about it and yeah, I was a bit confused, can't lie. Now, I've been looking through what different things you can make. It's pretty cool. Looking at the different things you can make. You can make the regular beds, so, which is pretty nice. I think you can make it just, you know, you can make a queen size bed or just a regular bed, or I think you can do that, but obviously it takes a lot more effort. So not the most amazing, as you can imagine. However, hopefully we can go to sleep in a minute and kind of forget about all that. We're gonna keep our, even though they will be safe anyway, I think if I leave that in there, it's not gonna make any difference. Now the only problem is with recording is the fact that my screen always gets in the way of when I'm trying to record, and I have like this little thing that pops up and it only shows up for me and not on the video. That's the only problem I find with recording. Otherwise, I'm pretty spot on. So I've been doing pretty well, and I've done a tad bit of research, and we're doing pretty well. So something that I think we need to start off with is been looking. I think there is such a thing, I'm not entirely sure, is a capture net. So you need bamboo and string, and then I think you can capture any animal in the net. And then a trank. How do you call it? Tranquilizer? Maybe there's not the tranquilizer in this one. I think, anyway, that's the capture net, which I know we need. Which is pretty cool. But yes, as I've been saying, that's something that I've desperately been kind of needing to work on. And more so, I need to kind of figure out what's going to happen with everything going on. Obviously, a new day brings new animals, and, you know, we definitely need a capture net. So what I was thinking is I'm going to spawn some of that in. We're gonna get myself probably bamboo. Let's give ourselves a stack of bamboo. And then Let's give myself a stack of string as well. I think that's probably a good idea. Now, I don't think they stack, if I'm correctly, when you make them. So, can I actually remember how to make one? No. Am I going to try and make one anyway? Yes. Okay, maybe it is time to go back to the rulebook. How the hell do I make one of these? Okay, I am slightly concerned now. I found a fishing rod. What's that? Oh, whistle. Okay, so it seems I can make a few things. One being a captionette. Now, I might die doing this, but we're gonna see. Can I? No, I cannot. Okay. Can I do the bird? No. What if I hold the bird? The bird's running. This is not very easy. Okay, right. Bird, stand still. I don't know what you are. Just stand still, bro. Why are you running at me? This makes no sense to me. Right. Other than hitting you, I don't know what to do. Right, so guess it's time to go back to the drawing board. So I can make that, which is all good, but I can't use the captionette on certain animals, meaning I've got to leave them, which is a tad bit annoying, but I'm not worried about that as such. I'm more worried about why is that not working properly. Anyway, so after my kind of realization that being in survival probably isn't going to work out for me, I've decided that I'm going to make a creative world, as I've been kind of worried about this, that I just wouldn't grasp onto some of the features, and I much prefer a menu. So as you can see, I've kind of scared off all the animals in the area, and I think I'm going to pause this video and take a moment to realise that I'm going to be rubbish. I'm going to make a creative world with the exact same mod packs on. Maybe I might take the shaders off for now, although actually I think they'll be alright. So I'm gonna go and sort that out, and then I'm gonna come back onto the video, so I shall see you in a minute. I thought I'd take this minute as I'm making the world to show you which add-ons I use. So I'm going to show you. So I shall give you a show of which ones I use on the active. 1 second. So I use Wanderlust for the shaders, the World Utilities add-on actually I don't need, the Realistic Biomes add-on, which pretty obvious, adds the world kind of whatever. Furniture add-on, pretty much simple, and then Naturalist, and also the 1,000 Horses. The 1,000 Horses, I don't know whether it's actually in the pack or not, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get back to making the world. Okay, and I am in the world. That mole is not supposed to, or hedgehog, whatever that is. These are not supposed to be here right now, but we're just gonna deal with it. So looking at my creative menu is slightly a little bit less daunting than looking at the other kind of things. So looking at different things is definitely shaking it up a little bit for me. It's different. to say the least. Copper has definitely been updated. Many blocks have been updated, may I add. However, you know, I think we're gonna have a pretty good kind of crack at this game. You know, yeah, see, these look so weird to me. I dread to think what some things look like. So, as you can see, there are many, many, many things in this world that just make sense, but also do not. And more scare the living daylights out of me. So, that's interesting, to say the least. So I think we're gonna start off with making... Whoa, that's different. Okay. Right. Yeah, this is... What the heck is that? Okay, right. That's a peak loop. Okay, I am seriously wondering what some of these things are. So, looking at some of these new things here, I am not actually surprised at some of the things here, how they look, and I do prefer some of the bits. Alrighty. So, I'm not too worried about it. As you can see, I have many weird yet kind of cool looking things here. Don't know whether that's a good thing or not a good thing, but at the end of the day, we gotta deal with it. So, we are gonna start off with building. I think they can kind of scoot over. So I think building the main gates, we should use some of the newer blocks, which kind of look pretty cool. I think the search bar is definitely going to be useful. So we're going to have a look at, I think, sandstone. Okay, that looks a bit weird. Maybe. I think quartz are going to be a good shout. So, let's have a look at maybe some smooth quartz. Probably a good idea. Block of quartz. Is that smooth? No. Slime. And some pillars. So, maybe a bit bigger for a zoo entrance. So, my brain is telling me this is looking semi-okay. Which I'm guessing is a good thing. I don't know what to make of this right now. It kind of looks rainbowy, which is not the end of the world. It actually looks pretty good. So, what I'm going to take away from my current building weirdness, this looks like an arch to heaven, not an arch to a zoo. But we're going to deal with that. And I think if I just kind of outline roughly where I want to make the start of the zoo, I think we'll just make it roughly about this big. I don't know. Don't know how many blocks that is, and I don't know whether I can be bothered to count. But I will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, not including the end blocks. So, not too bad. So, we're kind of gonna make it equal on each side just because otherwise it's gonna annoy me. So, yeah, so that's 15. So, it's roughly 20 more than that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I really messed up, didn't I? Right. Now, hopefully that is correct and okay for a decent zoo start. Now, obviously, things are not amazing, being that this is a flat world. We are going to have to add some texture, etc. However, I feel like a flat world, it just screams a little bit more open, which I think for a zoo is definitely a need, and we can always make it a better vibe afterwards, which I think is going to be a very good shout. Now, something that we're gonna need is definitely some blocks to make the main zoo entrance. Now, what blocks animals can get over and which blocks they can't is another story. So, guess what? We have to figure out that. So, obviously, windows are going to be a very interesting thing to figure out because some may be long, some might be short, maybe good, maybe bad. We don't know. And you guys also get to see the behind the scenes of the zoo. You guys don't just get the cool kind of sources. You guys get everything, which is kind of cool. Also found these paths, which I thought, gonna be pretty cool. So I am gonna get that stone path actually. I feel like that's gonna be useful. Now I think I'm gonna quit looking here before I find something that I actually like for a block and realize I can't use it. Now that's gonna annoy me because I do like dark oak. That's slightly annoying. I have an idea, and I don't think I'm gonna like my idea, but we have to try it anyway. Otherwise, I'm gonna get annoyed at myself. Where is the dark oak fence? Let's have a look. Is that dark oak? Yes, perfect. So, my idea in my head currently is pretty mind-blowing. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, not very funny, is it? Oopsies. Okay. I think we're gonna try it and see what we like. Okay. So obviously we want a 3x3 path, I think, the whole way around. How big is this? So that's 6. Yeah, that's 6. My brain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's gonna be there. And then we need to figure out obviously the best way to kind of display the animals, because yes, it might seem cute, but it may not be the best for the animal, which obviously we don't want to kind of get in the way with. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to make a decent size enclosure. We don't want to make it small, but we do want to make it kind of livable, you know? So yes, it's going to be square, but it is going to be kind of decent. Meaning an animal would live in this kind of space in the wild. Meaning, yes, it's going to be very boring for the first few days while I am building this rather weird kind of shape. As you can see, it's kind of an oblong, weird shape. I don't know how to describe it. So currently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. 7, 8, 9. Oh wow, that was just a classic mistake of mine. However, I was actually intending to do that. I know, how rude of me for not giving you guys the secret motive that I was actually going to do the whole time and I just didn't tell you. Very cruel. So I was planning on doing this, as I said. Kind of planning on doing it the whole time, but I just decided let's just keep the suspense rolling while I can. And I don't know why I did that, because that's kind of stupid of me. I do actually need to remove those. So the dark oak gate is not a good idea because it's not really getting zookeeper vibes. So sadly, there is not such a thing as a single door frame. However, bamboo doors do kind of give me the idea of a zoo door. However, I have laid my eyes on such a thing called the iron door. Yeah, I know. And it kind of looks like one of those doors you'll see at the zoo. However, then I laid my eyes on the birch door. Doesn't that look like the classic zoo, whatever you find at zoo, like, and then you're like, oh look, that looks like, you know, my front door. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, that's not my front door. And it kind of gives you the vibes of a front door. But in reality, it really isn't. Like, is that just me? Or do I find that just like, anyway, I find that. And so, I decided to go for some white trim glass. Dare I say. I'm joking. I went for the regular glass at first. And I've decided I'm going to see what that looks like. So, this glass looks seriously kind of scary like the glass you see at zoo. Which kind of led me to believe, I was like, huh, I have an idea for this build now. Which may throw now some of you guys off for what I said at the very beginning of this video. I said that most animals are not as enthusiastic as a lot of people make out, such as lions, tigers, bears. I was kind of realizing I didn't say anything about it at the start of the video. Yeah, but I was supposed to say that so many animals at zoos actually just don't care about what you guys think. You might think, oh wow, this animal loves me. To be honest with you, the animal doesn't probably even know you're there, and it just wants to see what you are, why you're there, and if you are there, then why aren't you giving me food? Because humans at a zoo, mainly zookeepers, give them food. That's what they associate the humans with. So whenever a human walks near their cage, they're like, oh, you got food for me? When in reality, we don't. Which kind of defeats the object of going to a zoo, I know. But when you go to a zoo, you know, if an animal runs up to you, it's probably dinner time, and that's probably why they've run up to you. They probably wondered, how come you ain't giving me any food yet? Because, let's be real, do you really think an animal's gonna know who you are? And if so, why do you think they are associating you with food? If you're not thinking that, then maybe that's something to consider. I don't know. Anyway, thinking upon that, I have been looking at things to put on top of the enclosure when I came across the dark oak beam. Was kind of looking for that, but look at this sky. Apparently you can see shooting stars, but I could not be bothered to look and stare at the sky all night. So yes, I am kind of in my element right now, making this enclosure. However, the darkness is kind of annoying me in the same way. Now, I don't know quite what animal to add in here yet. I've been having some consultancies in my head, thinking, what should I add into this amazing place? Should I add in some sort of ground animal first and work our way up to the maybe monkeys in a monkey house and something around like that? Or should we make sure that all the animals are kept outside, however they could potentially get wet in the rain? Because obviously they are all going to have some sort of shelter, but there's going to be certain animals that aren't going to have such a great thing as many others might. So we're going to have a look at that and see what we think. If we think that maybe it's not the best fit for this enclosure, we can always temporarily keep it here and then just move on when the time is right. Obviously, it's not going to be amazing straight away, as at the end of the day, it is going to be what it is going to be. But I think if we stick our minds to it, maybe we'll have a good kind of beam look going around the top. I'm hoping any ground animals aren't going to be... Whoa! Can you see the kind of illusion that flies across the sky there? Mm-hmm. So anything like that could really be useful in here. Because imagine at night and you're just sat feeding the animals and you just see a shooting star go across the sky. Isn't that cool? And I also like how the moon goes behind the clouds. There's a shooting star, look. So as long as you kind of look towards, you do get to see it. And if you do end up managing to find me and add me, I will probably add back. I am going to add that in there. I will probably add you back on my Minecraft. And whatever happens at the end of the day, I probably will add you back and I will allow you to join my game. However, if you do start griefing, then you will be booted from my friends list and you will also be booted from the game in general. So even if you seem like a nice person and then you start having a go at me in my comments, you will just be banned from the comment section. Because let's be real, I do not have the energy nor the time to be beefing a 7-year-old in the comment section. I do not. So we're going to kind of deal with that as and when the hate starts rolling in. It's a Minecraft animal. Nobody cares. Mate, just shut up. Nobody cares about you either. Let's be real. So, yeah. So, let's have an overview currently of this enclosure. Personally, I'm liking the look of it. Some people might have different fancies, might not like it as such, which obviously you suit your own boat. You don't have to follow mine. So you see what you guys like. If you like this, then I am very happy for that. That is very good. And if you don't, then it's fine. Maybe it doesn't float your boat, and personally that is okay. I'm not too worried. You know, at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you don't like it. However, it would be nice for you to show some support, or maybe to let us know whether you like it or whether you would say maybe something different. Obviously, not everything's going to be perfect, and that is just going to have to be kind of noticed, and you may get your own view of the animal if you do come and view in real life, if you do decide to add me and you see me online. However, there is a chance I will be recording and I will just say, please can you leave. If I do ever ask you that, please do leave, because I do not want to fight, nor do I want anything else. So, let's do our little, what sign should I go with? Maybe a sign would be great. Oops. And you can indeed be a staff member. Now you might be wondering, what do you mean by that? Staff member means that you can log online daily. If you see me online, you are allowed to log on, and hopefully I will be able to make this eventually into a realm. But basically you will be allowed to log on to the server when this is a realm. You'll be invited to the realm, you will be allowed on the realm whenever you want to be, and you will be made into a staff member, meaning eventually there will be probably a mod on here which will make things a little bit, maybe someone won't like this, somebody who likes to sneak around. You probably won't like this if you are that person. However, maybe, just maybe, you might be okay with that, and we'll decide, you know what, let's give her a break. You know, so yeah, maybe. I'll see. So, let's have a look. So, there's grey anglefish, there's beetles, budgies. Now, we could start off with like coyotes. We could start with deer. Deer might be something we could start with, maybe. Should we start with deer? I feel like deer might be a good thing to start with. Maybe we can start with a white deer, a reindeer, and a deer. The deer could be in separate enclosures. Obviously, we could have white deer and regular deer, and then the red-nosed reindeer and the reindeer. Maybe, or we could start with the fennec foxes. However, I would personally prefer, I think we're going to start with the reindeer. I think that's just a good start and a great sign. So, that's not what I was trying to do. Okay, maybe let's just, nope. Okay. It's going to be interesting. Right. Oh dear. So I'm going to charge my phone in a moment once we work out how we're going to work this out. So, I've had a idea. Now, this needs to obviously be a block, which kind of blends in. What the stone looks like. That could be interesting. What does the stone look like? Decorative stone. I would personally be looking for stone brick, which they don't seem to have here, meaning they are probably here. Meaning they're probably buried in the miles long thing here, which is not ideal. There isn't asbestos stone, so what is the... Right, so that's the stone bricks. Okay, so they are probably in that little area. Just now. I'm just probably being blind. Let's see. Oh, look. Okay, that's just a show off move right there. So we are actually going to replace the path with this, I think, because maybe we'll do the path, like, that would be good somewhere, but not here. So, oh, you're joking, I'm going to put the path on the top. Ugh, that would have been cool, but no. I feel like with the doors, maybe that's not a good idea. So. Yeah, we can always have like staff paths, so obviously people can't just walk somewhere and think that they own the place. That could be interesting. Obviously it might stir up a little bit. Right, so who is this guy? Oh, sorry, I did not mean to hit you, buddy. Bud, I didn't want to hit you. So what is this? Oh, so this is the furniture. Okay. Okay, bud, okay. Cool. So you're the furniture dude. So, pretty cool. Anyway, that's what you're saying. Moving on. Yes. So, I think ideally, obviously, iron bars. What do I look like? Well, iron bars. It's pretty cool. Can't lie. So we kind of open the door and come into this huge enclosure. So I think something that's going to be a great starting point for this would be a moss roof style thing. I think this is just going to be a good thing to have here. Right, let's find this. So, moss. Obviously, this is a moss roof kind of thing. I'm going to use this as the kind of roofing block. So, how is this going to work? No, that's not what I meant. Cool. I am going to do a little change when we finish this build. Just, I think, change the textures because there's some textures in here that I think I personally don't like anymore. Using this mod, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to build with, which is a pain because I did want to build with them, but I feel like maybe the textures just aren't going to be here, but we're going to see, I think, what I think of it without the textures, and then maybe we can add them on once we are really playing, but I think we'll see. But as of right now, I think the infrastructure is instantly looking a little weird when I'm trying to build a little house with a deer, so we're gonna have a look at that because obviously the moss block and then the moss roof, obviously yes it is from a different mod, but that just isn't gonna work on a roof like I wanted it to. So we're gonna have to see about that, and I think that is just purely an issue with obviously what we're gonna do, but we're gonna see. Because if we can change that, then that'll be fine, but obviously if we can't, then it's gonna be a little bit different. Don't know what kind of material to build this out of because I have spent quite a while on this, which is annoying, obviously. Herm. I don't want to quit, so I need to make this look nice because otherwise I'll end up quitting. So that's something with me that I'm gonna let you guys into, is I am very much a person that if something goes wrong, I quit. So I kind of have to push myself to do something, otherwise I quit. So that's kind of something that I gotta work on myself, but yes, obviously not amazing when you're trying to do something. So what is this? So this is a wallpaper, but if I maybe use this wallpaper to my advantage, I can maybe make a decent kind of house type thing out of this. Hmm. I think if I just add that beam in there, I can maybe get a little roofing style go on. But yeah, as I've said, I think I can probably pull it off maybe with a brick roof if I can get myself sorted around that. But yeah, I'm gonna have a look around and see what I can do while I go off, and then I'll post this video in an hour or two once I'm figured out. And I will maybe put in the caption what I have resulted to with the amazing roof, and then I will record episode 3 when I am ready to, which should be fairly soon. We're gonna see how that goes though. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.